Hello everybody, I'm Protodead, and I've been playing Escape from Tarkov since July of 2017. I've got quite a few things on my wish list for this hardcore first-person shooter, and some of these ideas may be a little bit goofy, and you may not have heard these ideas before circling around in the community, so bear with me. Something has been bothering me, so I loaded into an offline shoreline raid. I wanted to time something out. How long till Lucky Ivan here dies from a lack of satiation? Or, in other words, starves and dehydrates to death. If the movie Tremors taught me anything, it's that a man or woman can survive 3 to 5 days without water.
Died of dehydration.
Thirst.
Well, that doesn't make any sense. That takes a couple of days, doesn't it?
Maybe even 3 or 4.
And the movie Miss Sloane taught me that you can go weeks without food.
They can go weeks without food and still be mobile.
Notice I have a regular loadout with the common things an average guy may come strapped with in the raid, and my Tarkov dude here is happy and healthy. The Google gods say that the average human can survive 3 to 5 days with no water and possibly weeks for you to die from a lack of food intake, assuming that the victim has plenty of water. Depending on the activity of the person and the environmental conditions, it might be even longer than just a few weeks. But you know what it doesn't say? That you will fucking die in 4 hours, you pathetically weak, diurnal, bipedal, mammalian, Tarkov prisoner. Because as of right now, 4 fucking hours is all it takes as of patch 13.5 September this year of our Science 2023. Let's look at the math. Currently I have a real-life timer running in the upper left corner of the screen. That's real-world American minutes and seconds. Just sped up to match my gameplay footage that you see in the background. We will call this real world time. In the upper right hand corner, you will recognize this as the overworld map time, which is to say, it's the accelerated game world day-night clock cycle, further accelerated to match my gameplay. We will call this Tarkov time. 30 minutes of real-world time equals 3.5 hours of Tarkov time by my calculations. For every 1 minute that passes, 7 minutes pass in Tarkov. I ran, walked, shot, jumped, dipped up, dived, reloaded, shooted, looted, switched weapons, and basically just made a big loop around shoreline here. I didn't eat any meds, or anything else for that matter. I did not drink or consume anything at all to affect the depletion of my organic resources. Which really surprised me that my dude dies after 35 minutes of playing the game. Died to death of starvation. If anything, it should have been no low energy that killed me, but instead dehydration that killed me. But in 35 minutes of playtime, that's approximately 4.12 hours of Tarkov time. My dude starved to death in just a little over 4 hours. That's just loony, bonkers. It's wiggity whack. It's way too fast in my opinion, and it borders on stupid and poorly thought out. As realistic as playable my ass. If my further calculations are correct, forgive me if they're a little bit off, but I seem to be coming up with approximately 10.25 hours of playtime before death by dehydration should be proximal to true life, dog. I also went back in and recorded me trying this again, basically standing still the whole time, aside from some settling in at the beginning whenever I jumped on top of a stack of bricks. Basically the same result, died of starvation in 36 minutes, 30-second increase. Doesn't make any sense. I want you to make it make sense. Make it make sense for me. People like to say, don't complain if you can't present an alternative, to which I will reply, what is BSG's goal while making the system? That's not rhetorical, I'd like an answer. Firstly, I say that the passage of Tarkov time and the starving and dehydrating to death needs to more adequately approximate one another believably. Whether it's speeding up Tarkov time or slowing down the rate at which your dude depletes hunger thirst bars, or maybe a little bit of both. If BSG's aversion to this is, we wanted to make a money sink, so as you having to keep buying commodities from the therapist, then I'll say just jack up the fucking prices on the food and water, or whatever. If they say that we want you to have a random crisis in the middle of every raid if you live that long, and you have to frantically search for food, then I say make food more scarce in the raid. And then you'll have that scenario for those people that didn't take the time to adequately prepare before they went into raid by buying or eating some of their stocks in their stash and topping off before they start the raid, or the every second raid maybe. Or maybe this is only a crisis if you run 3 raids in a row. Make it, maybe the answer is make it to where you don't gradually automatically heal up your hydration and your energy stats while out of raid sitting in your hideout. That would make even more sense to me. This is supposed to be a hardcore game, right? At the very least, everybody should agree that we, Tarkovians, should be dying of dehydration well before hunger, so I would be pleased at least if they flip-flop the rate of which these 2 bars deplete in the raid. There's lots of ways to craft a more balanced and believable video game experience, especially if this team wants to continue their meteoric rise to video game fame and fortune. I understand that Tarkov is still being developed and everything is subject to change. These are just my opinions, and I reserve the right to be wrong and also change my opinion when presented with new valid information. Like, share, and subscribe. I look forward to any discussions, clarifying, or any opposing views in the comments below. Any engagement is surely appreciated. This is Protodead, and I'll catch you on the flip-flop.